Hello, good afternoon. Hi. Okay. I am looking good. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. I'm 8 minutes late. So I'm working on my time management. I went to put this lipstick. I don't know. Tell me how it looks like. My glasses are reflecting, but that's okay. How's everybody doing? Today is a beautiful day that the Lord has made. And the Bible says we shall rejoice and be glad in it. So if you're coming into this broadcast, please share this video with your family and friends so we can all learn together, because it's all about inspiring, it's all about educating, and it's all about trying to keep people together. So do me a favor and share this video on all your platforms that allow you to share, because on some platforms you can't share because they don't allow sharing. So make sure that you check the platform you're sharing in, because we don't want you to be removed from a platform that you're benefiting from because you shared something that you thought was good to share. So if you're finding me for the first time, my name is Penny. I'm very passionate about what I'm doing. I'm here to encourage people. I'm here to give people hope who sometimes don't have hope. I personally have a few people that I follow. I have a few people that I look up to, and I have a lot of people that I admire that give me the push to be able to get up and encourage another person. So with that said, I'm looking forward to be one of those people in your life that is going to inspire you, that is going to encourage you, that is going to give you hope if you're feeling like you have no hope, or I'm going to make you understand that we are all struggling. Nobody has it together. We are all trying to get this thing together, and we are all like on a journey. And when you're all on a journey, there's nobody who's not seeing daylight, there's nobody who's missing sun, the night. So people go to sleep, all of us go to sleep, and all of us wake up. You see my beautiful dress? I love this dress. Oh, let me fix it nicely so I can look beautiful. Okay, the sun shines on all of us, the moon comes on all of us, the day and night. So there's nobody who is getting different times. We are all on this planet Earth, and eventually all of us are going to die. I listened to a lady that I greatly admire. Her name is Ngozi Adichie. I can't even say her name. She's a Nigerian writer that I admire greatly. I listen to her almost as often as I get her. And in one of her speaking engagements, she said that we need to openly admire people, and we need to openly encourage people that have helped us along the way. And she said, like, when people die in funerals, you find that a lot of people come to the funerals to praise people and say all these things and they write great tributes to people who are gone. And she encourages people to tell the people that are living that you're proud of them, you're proud of their achievements, you're happy that they inspire you. Be grateful and open about the people that you admire. In many cases, Grace, good morning. Kemto, good morning. In many cases, the people that sometimes we admire are the people we end up being jealous of. Some of us admire people in the process of giving them credit. We dislike them because they really have what you want. So if you see somebody that has what you want, admire them and let them know openly. Don't wait for them to go, if it's your parents, to tell them that you're so grateful for what they have done for you. So today is Friday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we talk about wellness. And today I wanted to dedicate this day to talk about finances. Okay, I'm learning how to use these platforms. I'm learning how to try and engage, like reach more people, and how to even give the topic ahead of time. I'm struggling, but with time, I'm going to learn my way around. So we want to talk about financial wellness today. We are going to talk it in a very simple way. We don't want to make it complex, but we want people to understand that when we talk about your wellness, when you talk about your health, your bank account, the money that you have means everything. Most of us don't understand that. The money that is in your bank account is either going to save you or you're going to die. So many people die because they did not have money. So many people die because they could not seek treatment. So many people die from diseases that, are curable, but they are not able to cure them because they cannot afford. Let me get my soda, by the way. I forgot I had Fanta. Oh, it's right here. This Fanta costed me $2.25. That's 225 shillings in Kenya just to get this Fanta. So, who took my can opener from here? I can't use my teeth. My teeth is too old. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry to do that. That's okay, because I needed this Fanta. Okay, so we are going to talk about financial wellness. That's the discussion we want to have today. Now, I'm always giving my stories. I like to tell stories, and some of the stories I tell, they make me feel so good because I look back and then I reflect where I've come from. I reflect from my family and where I am today. As life has put me through, how old am I now? Right now, I'm 49. Let me move this chair out of the radio. Don't mess up my show. I happen to have been born to a family, or rather to a father, that had acquired financial success. I was born into a father that was financially stable. When I was born, my father was driving a Land Rover. This is back in the 70s. And he had multiple things going on. They were the distributors of alcohol in Kisii town. They were the wholesale distributors of cigarettes. They had buses. They had pickups that carried mchanga. And then they had a warehouse where Kenya Breweries used to rent the lot to put their trailers when they delivered their alcohol in Kisii. By the time I was born, I found my father had a very successful business that was running. So, in short, I was born into a financially stable family. In the process, there are things I might never understand, even if people tell me I will not understand. So is my children. The life I've given my children, they might never understand where I came from. But if you look at your health and you look at where you are, some of you who watch me, you're able to get a Wi-Fi and watch me. I want you to know that the money that you have determines a lot of things. You can die, or your parents can die, or somebody can die because they don't have access to good health. They cannot afford good food. So with that said, my father had 4 wives and 21 children. I happened to be number 18 out of the 21 children. So I have 17 lessons ahead of me that helped me to make some of the choices that I've made in my life. And I speak about this all the time, okay? And so we are using headphones. When you out, down, you are Fanta, drop it slowly. Okay, I've had you. So I had 17 lessons to learn from by the time I was born. A lot of you don't even know that your birth order affects who you are. If you're not aware, a firstborn child, secondborn, thirdborn, your birth order does affect you. So for me, the number that I was in my family shaped me to who I am today. Why do I say that? I grew up asking for money. I always asked my father for money. I asked my siblings for money. I asked the uncles. I grew up asking for money. And most of the time, I was told no, because I used to like to eat. And every time I saw a relative that can give me 1 shilling, like my uncles, I'd be like, "Uncle, do you have a shilling?" I had the courage to ask for money. And most of the time, I was turned down. And I learned as a young child that I need to work hard to have my own money. That kind of thinking is what got me to seek financial success, where I'm able to buy and afford everything that I need. If I can't afford it, then I wouldn't try to look for it. And then I had a father that told us constantly that, you know what, this money that I have is my money. This money is not your money. I'm here to pay your school fees. I'm here to feed you. I'm here to give you shelter. But by the time you guys are going to be adults, I will be gone dead. And that is the truth. These words of my father play in my head over and over, because you know what, he's been gone. My dad has been gone maybe 14 years now, and now is when I'm raising my children. Now is when my kids are going to college. So what he told me played in my head over and over. And number two, me being in a situation where I used to ask for money put me in a situation where I wanted financial freedom. Okay, and you know, if you're sick and you're not able to get tested to know if you have high blood pressure or if you have diabetes or whatever diagnosis you have, you're not able to get treatment. So you're going to die. If you cannot do your mammogram, if you cannot do your colonoscopy, if you cannot get screened blood work to see what's in your blood, you're not going to survive because you don't have the resources to check yourself. So another thing, can you imagine calling someone to ask for money to go to the doctor, a friend of yours, and they tell you, give me a few days, I'll see what to do. So that causes anxiety. You're somewhere waiting for someone to decide if they're giving you money or not. My dear friends, just that thought should be a reason for you to work hard to make sure that you're finding ways to earn, you're finding ways to have money. So you don't have to wait on someone to approve whatever you want to buy. Because let's say you want to go buy medication, you're calling someone to ask for medication. By the time this person decides that they're going to give you money, your blood sugar could have shut your brain down. Your blood pressure could have shut your brain. You'd have got a stroke. When I tell people that, you know what, there is nobody who can give you money. You have to find ways to earn your own money. There is power that comes with financial freedom. A lot of us don't understand that. Once you're able to buy your services, once you're able to feed yourself, once you're able to take yourself to the doctor, when you're self-sufficient, you're not under anybody's mercy. That is a good life. You're not depending on anybody to go bring you food. You're not depending on anybody to put you in a nice, quiet neighborhood. You're not depending on anyone to go buy your flowers. You're not asking money from anybody to access any services that you need. And that's why we want to talk about financial wellness. So for me, I had so many things that prepared me up to where I am today. And that's number one, being born into a family that the father was already established. Number two, me being put in a situation where I have to ask for money and I'm told, you know what, you can't have this money. And number three, I got myself in a class. When I came to America in 1996, I think that is the year when I decided to borrow money. I decided to get a credit card. And when I decided to get a credit card, I wanted to understand how the credit card was working. So what I did, our church at the time was giving a class for, a financial class. And this book actually costed me $40 in 1997. I think it was 1997. Okay. I attended that class, and that class shaped my life up to today. Okay. Because you know what? I was in a foreign country. I had not learned the way the money works in America. I had not learned how you can borrow, how you can return. I had a credit card, but I didn't know the interest. You know, they used to send me a bank statement and I just paid the minimum amount. And when you pay the minimum amount, I didn't know there was hidden fees there that are called an interest. So I said, you know what? I can just sign myself for this class and learn how Americans are managing their money. And this changed my whole life because you know what? Now I started understanding you earn $5. How much money are you saving? How much money are you living on? How much money are you treating yourself on? What kind of investments do you need? What kind of long-term, short-term investment? This guy took us through the whole process. And this book is written by a guy, he did the workshop himself. It's called Theoeconomics and is written by Roland Hills. So in this class, they talk about the economy. Do you understand the economy? Most of us just live day to day. Do you understand the part of the world where you're from or where you live? Do you understand how your economy is rolling? What does the economy mean to you? Okay? Do you understand that God is in charge of you and God has put you on this universe so you can use your brain to understand how the economy is working? Do you understand how important it is to manage the little money that you earn every 2 weeks or once a month or every 2 weeks, whatever amount of money that even somebody giving you money? Do you understand how to manage that money? Do you understand what it means to take responsibility of your choices once money has landed in your hand? Okay? Once I have put money in your hand, do you know if I give you $10 today, $100, how you're going to manage this money is going to mean a lot, okay? Management of your money is mandatory. So he starts asking people where you are. Do you understand where you are? Okay? And then he goes on to talk about the language of the economy. Do you understand the language? Okay? Do you understand that God has put you in this universe? What language is being spoken here? Are you honest? Are you truthful about your finances? Do you look at your money and ask yourself, how much money am I getting? How much money am I spending? Do you understand about savings? Okay, he has itemized the things that we do. How honest are you about your finances? Self-denial. When you earn this money, how much are you willing to deny yourself of the things that you want so you can have money? How much of the money that you are earning are you saving? Investments. If you are a certain age, where they talk about the ages, you're 20, you're 30, you're 40, how much money are you putting away in your investments? Do you really have any kind of investments? Okay. And then he talks about the economic terms. All right. Do you understand the resource, what the word resource means? There's natural resources, there's human resources, there's capital resources, there is supply, there is demand, and then there is the consumer. Do you understand all these terms for you to be able to survive in this economy? Number 6, do you understand who's the producer? What are those services that you can produce? He talks about the sales that you do, direct sales, okay? Where I'm making these earrings, I make the earrings, I sit here and create, I'm trying to make earrings, I put the hooks, okay? Where I'm producing my own product and I am selling. Some of us, we buy products from one person to another person, then we resell. Some things are sold 3-4 times from the producer. Are you able to produce your own merchandise? Do you understand what advertising means? Okay, advertising means they pay somebody to say that Fanta is very good and they come on national TV and drink it. And they're going to say, Once you drink Fanta, you're going to look exactly the way I'm looking, and you're going to feel as good as I'm looking. If you're starting a business, do you understand what advertising your business means? Meaning, you have to go out there and let people know that, by the way, this is what I'm doing to earn X amount of money. I have a product, I'm selling the earring, and this earring, when you put them, they're going to match. You have to do advertising. He's talking about packaging. How do you package yourself? You see, this is how I packaged myself. I put on this dress. I made sure it's like this. I've locked my hair. I'm packaging myself for Facebook so I can speak here today. How are you looking at me? Am I able to sell something to you? If I'm making a necklace, and this is a necklace that I'm going to sell, the way I package this product, am I able to sell it to someone? Talking about packaging, okay? And then credit. Some of you borrow money, you never return the money. When you're borrowing money, do you understand? When you borrow money, how much money have you borrowed? When are you going to return the money? At what interest? Is it worth it? Are you making the profit? These are some of the things that this guy was talking about in this class, okay? And then the interest you are paying. Somebody can give you 10%. Kenyan banks are giving 20%. Some banks are giving 30%. So you find that you have borrowed X amount of money from a bank to do a business, but you're not even making that money so you are able to pay. You're paying a loan, and you're paying at a loss. And you're doing that for a whole year. So a whole year you're in business and you're getting a loss because you're not paying attention to what interest. Some companies, you can even pay up to 25% interest. Okay, what are you doing with your deficit? If you have a deficit, do you even understand the term deficit? Okay, in terms of finances, do you know when you are running on a deficit in your own finances? If you're on payroll, do you know when you're on your negatives? Paris, how are you? Evelyn, how are you? Jackie, how are you? Judy, how are you? Okay, do you know when you have a deficit? Do you understand something called consumer price index? A method of measuring the prices consumers pay for the things they buy. Okay, so when you read this book, they're going to tell you that. Okay, then they're going to talk about recession, a short decline in the level of business activity. Then they're going to talk about depression, a long period of decline in levels of businesses. Okay, then there is employment, then there is self-employment, then there is imports, there is exports, there is stocks, there is bonds. All these things, this guy has listed everything for you. Naomi, I have to send you this book to Kenya because it's written here in America. The writer is here, black writer. Very good book. If I find somebody who's coming, I'll send it to you. Okay. So then he continues to talk about being poor. I don't know. You sip the soda. This is a tough one. He's talking about poverty. How many of you are tired of being poor? You know, being poor means you're not self-sufficient. You cannot take care of yourself. Okay? You are not able to put food on the table. You're not able to have shelter for yourself. You're not able to pay school fees for your children. Have you ever asked yourself why you're poor? It is because we are not knowledgeable on how to manage our finances. We are not even knowledgeable of the economy. We are not even knowledgeable on what is coming in, what's going, what kind of product are you making, what are you selling. By the way, look at this mats. This mat, somebody made this for me 24 years ago from Kenya and sent it to me. If I showed some people this at the flea market, they will buy this thing. I'm sure this thing in Kenya probably is made out of siso skirt. It probably costed maybe 2 shillings, maybe $2. But if I sold this thing online, it's a mat. I have several, right? Not even someone, my friend's mom, Sabina's mom, who's my close friend, brought me these things from Kenya many years back. This is before I had children. But if I'm selling this thing, it's going to be a lot of money. If I had the vendor that made this, okay, I'll make them millionaires because they are hand making this thing and they're producing a lot of them, because she brought me several of them. Naomi, you're in South Africa. South Africa, I have to find somebody to bring you the book. If I can send the book to Kenya, and then somebody who's from Kenya comes to you, you will get it. So let us look at the causes of poverty from what this writer wants to say. The causes of poverty. Number one, external causes over which the poor have no control. You know, you can be so poor. When you are poor, you have no control of anything. Okay? Poverty is sometimes it's an injustice. Sometimes it's through the oppression through the government. When you find that the government has the people in leadership continue grabbing, and they do not remember the people who are down there. So if you're in a country that the economy is not good, sometimes it's even impossible to remove yourself from poverty. Okay, number two, people are poor because of debt. Okay, he says he'll talk about debt in another chapter, but he's saying studies show that poor people watch more. My God, this. Let me sip this before I finish reading this. Studies show that poor people watch more television than any other socio-economic group. I tell my husband this all the time. Poor people are the ones who are consuming movies from Hollywood, from Nollywood, from football, from soccer. Poor people have time to watch high achievers. They never sit down to say, oh, how much is Denzel Washington working to be in that movie? How much is Kevin Hart working to be on that stage? How many practices do people have to do for them to produce that National Football League, NFL, okay, NBA, okay? Poor people. This is because, let's continue, many are unemployed, which allows them more free time. The poor people have this mentality where they are waiting for employment. They are waiting for somebody to employ them. With limited money, television for the poor people becomes a cheap form of entertainment. Television is a cheap form of entertainment for a lot of you who watch TV or for a lot of you who consume social media. For the rest of us, I'm not in the level of poor people. We don't have time to watch TV. I have not watched TV since the past. I only watch TV when there's elections, like presidential elections, when I'm coming out of the room to look, or there's something that I really need to follow. I stopped watching TV when I had my children. The children took over the TV. I don't have a show that I watch because I don't even have time. Because where am I going to get the time? Because I really want to build my home. I want to cook. I want to clean. I have like 6 or 7 different kinds of businesses that I'm running. I don't have time to watch people who are running their show. And after a while, all the shows became boring. When I found myself not financially stable, I'm like, I can't give these people all my time. These people are successful. Now, I like comedy, which now I'm getting on Facebook. That's another thing. Facebook took over and some of us really enjoy it. You know, there's right now a guy from Minnesota called Robai Bundi. I can watch that guy all day. He makes me laugh when I'm having bad days. I look forward to him producing whatever clips he's producing. And the clips he's producing are enriching my life. But let me tell you, Roba's clips are like 10, maybe 60 seconds, the most. So I can watch that briefly, laugh, and keep it moving. But if I'm going to create an income for him by watching that, he's going to continue producing because you know what? The consumers are there. But most poor people are the ones who consume high achievers. work where they're earning from. People who don't have anything, they're the ones who are watching the movies. People who don't have anything are the ones who are scrolling on Facebook, following so and so on Instagram, on TikTok. They have so much time. If you had to do some of the things that I do, you will not have time. So they are telling you that, you know what? Let me continue reading this because I think this is important about debt and people watching TV. But is television really a cheap form of entertainment? The average American family watches from 5 to 6 hours of television per day. And I want you to know that this writer was writing this book when there was no Facebook, there was no TikTok. They are confronted with about 13 commercials during half an hour program. 13 commercials. Fanta is good for you. Drink more Fanta. Did you know how people like Akode and the likes make a lot of money? The advertisements that are put on whatever they are doing. So now I'm going to sip this and tell you this is good for you, and you're going to drink it so you can look like me. Out of 30 minutes show, okay, program, they have 13 commercials in 30 minutes. And you know what? You will see that Old Navy has a sale, Gap has a sale, Bath Beyond has a sale, and you're poor. And you're going to go, and Capital One is going to advertise and say, we'll give you credit, no interest until 2022. So you get up, you go to your smartphone, you apply for a credit card, you go to Gap, you go to Capital One, you go to the mall, you go to all these shops using plastic money that you saw from the TV. Among the 13 commercials, there's a credit card there, and there are shops there for you to shop, okay? And then they continue to say, in 1 year, the average family has seen over 40,000 commercials, and it must work. Corporate America is still investing billions in television commercials. Corporate America, okay? They want to advertise their medication, Cialis, for men men watch a lot of TV. Because men, they just do one thing, they sit down. There's very few men who don't watch TV. So you find beautiful women, sexy women advertising medicine that can enhance their sex drive, okay? And you find that these men are glued. They bring beautiful women, okay? So, and poor people are among the millions manipulated into buying on credit that which they cannot afford, or spending money they do not have for essentials. So that's number 2. Number 3, why people are poor, considered benevolence. Okay, I'm going to read this. In the last 2 or 3 decades, many poor have been crippled by indiscriminate giving. Many programs designed to help poor have done more harm than good. And I want to talk about the welfare system in America that I hate. That welfare system is made to bring people down. When you watch the commercials, when the people are running for offices, even in Kenya, when people are running for political offices, they promise handouts. Why are you going to sit there and wait for handouts? Where you're waiting, you're being told, if you do this, if you elect me, I'm going to make getting handouts much easier. So many government and charitable aid programs teach the poor people to be dependent. These programs have good intentions, but usually end up encouraging selfishness and helplessness. This often leads to idle extravagance, intemperance, and these are the traits that shackle the poor and to poverty. That is, let me sip a drink. My large audience is in Kenya. That is you people who are in Kenya and you have your family members abroad, UK, America. You're asking for your siblings. You're asking from your cousins. You're always begging for money. You can never gain financial freedom if you keep asking your brother for $20. If you keep asking your sister for $5, The begging mentality is the poor people mentality, is the poverty of the mind. Because you're not thinking, how can I make these earrings so I can sell? You're not thinking, how can I go and grow chicken and produce eggs? You're not thinking, how can I grow vegetables so people can pick? You're thinking that, you know what, when Penina wakes up in the morning, I'm going to call her, she's going to give me money. Okay, that's number 3, begging, being a dependent. You're just asking for money. Every time you're thinking of begging an adult who's over 18, your job is to go on the phone and ask another adult to give you money when you could have just taken eggs and started raising chicken. You start selling eggs, the eggs hatch into chickens. You've seen my chicken journey. I have chicken now and I'm getting eggs. I started getting eggs now a few weeks. I don't have to go to Costco to buy eggs anymore. Okay? Number 4, why people are poor. It's because they are lazy. And I think I would like to read this. I only had 30 minutes. I don't know how far I've gone. Yeah, I think I'll end it here and then I'll continue this, because this is a series where we need to know how to come out of poverty, okay? Laziness. I'm very careful but very specific here in calling some poor people lazy. There is an attitude about the poor that I believe unwarranted and it's unfair. I will deal with this a little later, but I'm well aware that there are those in poverty because they refuse to work. Some of us are not willing to work. We just want to text somebody to send us money. You don't want to buy this soda. You don't want to buy the peanuts. You don't want to work and earn. You want to text someone to ask for something. Penny, send me $100. You're not willing to work. Many have been trained that way through social programs that require nothing more than people to come in and collect benefits. Now, that's why, for me, how I started my story, my father removed me from poverty. So I don't know what poverty feels or looks like. My children will never know. My grandchildren will never know. But my father knew poverty. He tasted poverty and he took himself out of poverty. I saw my father's brothers and sisters begging from my father. They just sat there and asked for money. Then what happened? Their children learned to sit there and ask for money. And their grandchildren are sitting there asking for money. Because you know what was modeled to them? What was modeled to them is to look for that relative that is doing good and you ask them for money. That's what your parents showed you. That's what you know, just begging and getting handouts. So you're lazy. You just sleep there and you send a text. So you find that your sister is not even trying to work. She's just sending you a text. She raises her children with handouts. The children grow up and they just live on handouts. They are lazy. They don't want to work, okay? Others have never learned the skill of trying to even go and learn a skill so they can earn money, okay? So they go around with their hands begging, okay? And the Bible says, oh my goodness, this is even the most outstanding Bible verse that my teacher, Mr. Kumenda, I wish I could even trace his children. And I tell them about this guy, my teacher, Mr. Kumenda. He loved this. Ongwenyi, he used to tell me, Ongwenyi, my primary school, around the primary school boarding teacher. He used to say, Ongwenyi, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a bandit, and scarcity, kulemewa, not having, like an armed man. That is Proverbs 24, chapter 33 and 34. These words used to come from my teacher so many times. A little slumber, a little folding of hands is going to lead you into poverty. You have to wake up and start earning. You have to wake up and start creating ways to earn. Of all the causes of poverty, Solomon labels laziness as number 1. Laziness is a sign that a person doesn't want to take responsibility of his life. He wants others to take care of him. You are there just waiting for people to give you handouts. which is bad. Okay, number 4. That was number 4. Why is it going to number 4 again? Did they make a book? Okay. The next one is alcohol, drugs, and cigarettes. Okay. And that's where I'm going to end this, because this is a book we really need to study together, step by step. Okay. I chose to stop drinking alcohol, because I thought after I matured, I think I snapped out of alcohol when I was like maybe 22, 21, because when I met my husband, we were both drinking. Then I said, you know what, both of us can drink. Someone has to drive. I made a conscious choice to stay sober so I can drive my husband to the club, and, both of us can go. So for me, what is the title of the book? The title of the book is called Theoeconomics by Roland Hill. It's a beautiful book. I bought this book many years and it never gets old. I don't know how, this is the problem with this social media. I don't know how I can see if I can pin it. So alcohol, I decided that was not for me, and I stopped at an early age. I'd had enough. I said, I'm not going to drink. And it is the reason I don't have patience for people who abuse alcohol, because I've been drunk before and I chose not to drink, because you know what? I realized, and I'd seen my siblings, what alcohol can do to their family. So my father was not someone who drank. I just don't drink. If I want to have a glass of wine, I can, but very little, because I have so many things lined up. I can't afford to have a hangover, because that is how I'm going to be poor. So drugs, when you take drugs, I told my daughter, you are not productive. I tell my children, you can't drink and get high and smoke this. You're not productive. If you have a business, you have an appointment, you're not going to make it. Cigarettes, what cigarettes is going to do to your lungs? You're not going to breathe. What's going to happen? You're going to lose money to checking yourself. So you are smoking, you're getting high, you're getting drunk, you are messing up all the organs. People who've never drunk, who've never smoked, you might not understand. I have done all those things. And the next day I felt like terrible. So now I decided that, you know what, moving forward, this is not for me, because you know what, this is going to lead me into poverty. So I stopped. So my dear friends, if you're watching me today, remove alcohol from your life, remove drugs from your life, remove cigarettes from your life, especially if you are poor. Because you know what, you really can't afford those things. And let me tell you, unfortunately, let me sip on this one. Unfortunately, my father made money from alcohol. My father made money from cigarettes. My father made money from transport. Okay, transporting sand and transporting people, right? Transport, you hear those things. My father made money from food. We had large-scale farming. We even used to have sheep that they used to shave. Food. But you know, those 3 things I told you, or rather the cigarettes and the alcohol, that's where you can make profit from. It's unfortunate that so many of us spend so much money on alcohol and drugs, and that's where the money is, and food. So he continues to talk about there's possible solutions for coming out of poverty. Okay, you must keep in mind that poverty will never completely be eradicated in this world. We can only alleviate poverty. All solutions will only be partial ones. The problem with poverty is not man alone that can help themselves to come out of poverty. You have to hold God, yeah? Or rather, God has to hold you for you to come out of this situation. Therefore, human beings need not to deal with the problem of poverty alone. This is a joint venture between us and God. You see that? Our attitude determines the attitude of the poor. There's a serious negative attitude about poor people in America, or about being poor in America. I see these attitudes discussed about welfare, where people make nasty comments about poor people. When you're poor, nobody has respect for you. I want you guys to look around everywhere where the people have money. You can even be talking nonsense and people are going to just put the carpet for you and clap for you just because you have money. Okay? So some of the things that we end up putting ourselves in, it's because we are poor. Okay? Another thing is give self-help, not pity. Some of us, we just like feeling sorry for ourselves. But you know what? The rest of us have chosen to give the gift that we were given to educate other people, to inspire other people, that you can come out of poverty, because some of us, we acknowledge that we were taken out. So we might not understand your journey. We might not understand where you are, but you know what? We can help you get there because we have the knowledge that was given to us by our fathers. We came to this country, there are books, there's so many resources out here for you to come out of poverty. And if you have the time to stop watching TV, to stop all the gossip, to stop idling, you start reading this book, you are naturally going to come out of poverty. Okay? Now, give me 1 minute. I wanted to do this. Give me a minute. I just want to pin this and then I can finish up what I was saying. And remember, I'm just a regular person. I'm not a TV. I'm not like CNN. I'm not powered by anybody. I'm powered by myself. So I'm running everything by myself. Okay, let's do this. Okay. I've pinned that comment. And that brings me to my next discussion, which we are going to talk next week. I want to really focus on money. Then we'll go to the next program, the next chapter, where the other week we brought someone to talk about stress, and we are going to look for someone to come and talk about meal planning. Okay. In chapter 5, this guy continues to say that you can have wealth. You can have wealth. Nobody is limiting you from growing your wealth. You can have wealth. Now, the thing that I learned, that now I've told you several times about my father, he did not have one way of generating income. He had several. Okay? You have to get up one day. You cannot depend on employment, because employment is somebody's business. You're working for someone. If this person decides to fire you, tomorrow you will not have food to eat. Okay? So a lot of us are depending on employment, where you are given a check, you do something, you do work for someone, and then they give you the money. We have to move beyond employment. Okay? Meal planning for 2 years now, it saves you money. Why are you going ahead of me? This girl, this my kissy lady. This is my last point. I have the book here that I also bought. Why are you going ahead of me? So you have to, first of all, you start being employed so you can have the capital. Employment is something that is supposed to give you a foundation. There's nothing wrong with being employed, but we need to get people to come out of their comfort zone, to create several ways, like my father did. My father did not just succeed with alcohol. He was thriving in tobacco. He was thriving in buses. He was thriving in transport. He was thriving in buildings. They had rental buildings. He was thriving in paraffin. He had a posho mill in the village. Okay? He was farming. This man was doing so many things to feed these 21 children and 4 wives and all the cousins and relatives. Imagine all those things I just counted for you. Each one of them was bringing money. And you know what? I am my father's child. So Penina, I decided I'm getting myself out of employment, not quit, but have that employment. But I have several ways to generate income. When I'm sleeping, my money is working for me. And how are you going to do that? That's what I was talking about before Kemto went ahead of me. First of all, you need a healthy mind. You have to start eating well. You don't need a lot of money to eat well. You have to start doing self-care. I bought this book many years so I can teach my children how to cook different meals. I don't know how close you can see that. Great Easy Meals. It has a chicken, it has pasta, beetroots, different foods, cake. I bought this book so I can learn with my children how to cook. And hey, this book is beautiful too. It's on it was on the Food Network magazine, and it has different foods. It even has burgers. It has sandwiches. Okay, you see everything you see there, eggplants, and then you go by. It has the pictures how the food is supposed to look. Salad. Okay, we have pork chops. I bought this book a few years back. Okay, there is a steak. And by the way, through my hard work, this is the food that half of the food, almost every food here, I can afford to buy because now I've worked so hard. You see shrimp, okay? Shrimp is there. Then we come to seafood. Where did I see my salmon? Look at tilapia with string beans and tomatoes, okay? Little tomatoes. All right. There is tilapia here with rice and noodles. This book, a great book again, okay? And then I have this book that talks about healthy living. Remember we did this book before where we are talking about a living healthy life with chronic conditions. Once you find that you're already sick now, you're stressed. So Penina, I started my own business for beads where I sell these things and I'm so happy because I like it. I sell clothes, I sell earrings. Every Saturday I'm at the flea market and I'm thriving in my business. Number two, I forgot to start with the other income. The first income is a husband. Let me sip soda. That one needs Fanta. My first income is my husband because I look at my husband as the most valuable person in my life. Nobody else. He comes first, most valuable. And ladies, don't feel like somebody's going to snatch your husband. When you have him, before he runs or before he's snatched or whichever way you take it, your spouse is the most valuable person and your source of income. Number one, if they can earn. Empower your husband to earn, empower your wife to earn. Number two is the one that you have yourself anyway. Because it's supposed to be number one, but now because you've chosen to spend a life with someone, you have to really prioritize them. Be self-sufficient by creating your own income, okay? Then for me, I have the beads. I'm getting ready so tomorrow I can do all these beads. Most of the beads, I create them. I have the chicken. Now I don't have to buy eggs. I have the garden, the vegetables. I have picked all the vegetables and put all the vegetables in the freezer for the whole season until we grow the vegetables again. So that means I'm not buying vegetables unless I'm really getting this, like I run out, which you rarely because you put enough. And then I have Facebook. I earn from Facebook. You guys know that. I tell you all the time, thank you for the stars. You guys give me stars. Thank you. And then now, this last venture I just got into is called Juice Plus, where you're buying, you're spending X amount of money to get supplements because your body does not get all the nutrients and supplements that you need. The good thing about Juice Plus that I want to tell people, you can be a consumer and you can also sell. Okay? You can actually consume and you can make money out of it. How else can you have that? There is no better way to live life than when I'm growing eggs I am consuming the eggs and I'm selling the eggs. The supplement for Juice Plus, I am taking them and I am selling them, because when you sell them, you also earn. So the people, there's many countries that the Juice Plus is. I'm inviting people. That's why I put the link up there. I put the link and I've posted there. I've pinned it. I don't know if I can pin it on StreamYard. Let me see. So you guys can go there, join me, because you know what? You need to get your health together, okay? If your health is not together, you're going to have all these kinds of problems and you're not able to be productive. And you know, if you're not productive, you cannot run a business. How are you going to run a business when you don't feel okay? You have to be feeling okay. Okay, I see. You have to be feeling okay to be able to be productive, so you have a fresh mind. All those things I just told you guys today, if you put it together, you need a fresh mind to be able to think of different ways to earn. If you look at me and you like the way I look, praise me now, admire me now, and slide into my inbox and tell me, Miss Penny, how can I get to where you are? Is there a way that you can walk me through? Yes. Especially when it comes to eating well and wellness. I am willing to hold your hand. At this time, I'm not at a place where I'm charging people to even guide them through. Yeah, this book will make you cook. It has 250 fun and fast recipes. That's what I liked about it, because I do not like to cook. You know, fast and fun, okay? So I'm telling people, I don't know where your passion is. I don't know where you're going with your life, but I'm inviting you to inbox me. My number is out there. It's 856-304-3371. The reason why I'm really interested in this Juice Plus program is because before I come to your house and help you prepare these meals, I might not get to your house. I'm not even into cooking. But before I walk you through, you need these supplements, because when your body, people don't understand, when your body is not getting enough nutrients, that's how you end up eating junk. You find anything and you just eat it. And by the time you think about it, you're already not feeling well. But when your body has enough nutrients, everything is in the body, you'll have the patience to grow your food. You'll have the patience to go buy fresh food. You'll have the patience to come cook and make a plate. If you go on my page this morning, you will see my breakfast. I had boiled sweet potatoes. I had 2 eggs and 4 tomatoes. I love tomatoes and pepper. That is a breakfast I took time to make. And all these things is things that I've grown, right? Or except the sweet potatoes. You can even grow sweet potatoes. Take time to prepare your food. What is Kemto saying? Eat and share. Okay? Affiliate program with Juice Plus is incredible. My vitality and vibrancy is due to bridging my nutritional group. Okay? I've had Kemto invited me to some of the Zoom meetings she has, and I had this lady give a testimony how her blood sugar changed after she started doing Juice Plus or taking supplements. But what they do for you, they are going to help you so you are able to your body is able to be in a sound mind where you are able to take time and prepare your food. We are always rushing. We don't prepare our breakfast. We don't prepare our lunch. We don't prepare our dinner. We are always rushing. And then when you feel hungry, you just pick chips and you just eat. We can't do that, my dear Kenyans. Now, finally, I want to speak to our women. Ladies, as I pen down, and we'll continue this wellness program, I want to tell you, look at yourself and talk to yourself. Let me sip a drink. Fanta is good for you. But in moderation. Do not spend money to go under the knife to have surgery, because When you use machines, let me tell you, the pharmaceutical companies are working with all these corporations to put images for you to believe that that's how you're going to look beautiful. They are spending so much money. You're going to go under surgery. You're going to end up in the hospital. You're going to end up on medication. What did Becky say? My people, Penny and Kemto, I see you. Yes, Kemto, I see you. I mean, Betty, Karibu, the complete protein shake. Yes, Kemto is, and we're going to invite them. Every now and then I talk, and then maybe next week we are going to invite someone who can talk to us. Once you operate this body, you'll end up taking medication from big pharmaceutical companies. You're going to see a therapist because emotionally you thought you're going to look sexy. Now you're not looking sexy, you're feeling sick. Maybe that person, some of you are doing it for your men. Maybe that man you are trying to alter your body for has left you. And now maybe your place of work, you're calling out more because you're not feeling well. You're not up and about because you went to alter the body by trying to do a quick fix so you can look like how people are looking sexy. I truly believe, okay? Stem cell. Naomi, I don't know what you're talking about, but I try to read the comments so we can have like like we are together. You understand? I'm thinking, you know, you can get this body because I believe that I look good. I believe in myself. I believe I'm responsible for my choices in terms of relationships, in terms of health, in terms of finances. I have taken responsibility. At a young age, I decided that, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. When I moved to America, I looked at the food and I said, this is not good for me. You have to take responsibility and say, you know what, I want to get to where Penny is. Because where I am, I have worked hard. It just doesn't come by. This is a lot of work. But you know what? One step at a time. You have to come into terms that, you know what, you owe yourself, especially if you also have children, you owe yourself to live a long life. Yes, you can get sick, but don't be careless by eating anything and picking anything and putting it in your mouth. Then all of a sudden, you want to go have surgery. All of a sudden, you want to go pin this, you want to cut this. You cannot do that. Take responsibility of your health. Claim your life back. Remove yourself from poverty. Believe me, you could lose your life because you have no money. So when we talk about wellness, when we talk about your health, even some of you are professionals. You could be a doctor, you could be an engineer. If you don't take a step back and take care of yourself, you're going to take all that money that you've earned to take yourself back in the hospital. If you don't invest in yourself now, all that money that you've invested or you've put aside or you're working for, you're going to take it back to the hospital. There is nothing important in this world than self-care. Prioritize your health. Put yourself number one, because you know what? A healthy person is going to help somebody else. If you're good, you give good. If you're bad, you give bad. So think about that. Internalize that. We are here for the regular people. We are not CNN. We are not Oprah yet. We are just here, regular people here. We want to motivate regular people here to remove themselves from poverty, because you know what? You cannot have a healthy life if you don't have financial freedom. And you know, once you have your financial freedom and you're able to buy the healthy food, you're able to invest in yourself, you start feeling good. You'll gain confidence. You find that things are going to change for you. Thank you so much for watching me. My goal on this page is to inspire one person. And I am so grateful for those of you who are always very faithful. I hope I've inspired one person. And number two, I want to educate in my simple way. If I can educate you, or if I've educated you, I'm glad to know that I've done that. And above all, we are given all these platforms. These platforms are to help us stay connected. wherever community you are in your local community, don't live in isolation thinking that you're an island. God made people so we can all live in a community. So inspire someone, educate someone, and unite people. Do things and bring people together. Don't do things that create division amongst people where you live. Thank you so much for watching me. I truly appreciate your support, and may the Lord God bless you. Please do me one favor, share this video. I truly appreciate your support, and do something for someone. It feels good. And let us end this curse of being poor. Say no to poverty. Do something. Make sure when you leave my podcast today, go do something that is going to grow you. Do not be afraid. Fear is what's keeping us in poverty too. He didn't cover it, but you see, he's also a writer. If I had to write the book, I'd have added fear there. Because a lot of us are afraid to get in things because we are like, what is Penny talking about? I don't want to get in those things. If I tell you let's sell waste beads, you're afraid. If I tell you let's sell the supplements, you're afraid. If I tell you let's go gardening, you're afraid. Fear is what's keeping people in poverty. Do not be afraid to take a bold step and say, you know what, I'm going to remove myself from poverty. And you know what? Lastly, I used to sell these headgears and now they are not there. Can you imagine? This is now me. I'm having a bad day and I decide I'm going to start selling these headgears because, you know, when people are having a bad day, they can, you know, tie their hair and just look a little different. See how, have you seen people who have tied the headgears and they look so nice? You're like, oh, wow, this is amazing. How does that look like that? So now I look around and I create a business of selling headgear. There are people who all they do is sell headgear. Almost 20% of my staff is selling headgear. So you see how quickly that happens? So these headgears used to be like $5, you see? And people love them, but I kept a few. As simple as that, I'm transformed and I have an item to sell. It's not that complex. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely weekend.